Well, the U.S. presidential election is just 100 days away, and the battle between Democrat Hillary Clinton and Republican Donald Trump is in full swing. Their campaigns are going into overdrive now that their respective party conventions are over and they have officially won their nominations, and the rhetoric is sounding more divisive as ever as the election nears. But Trump's latest controversial remarks are not directed at his political rival. The Republican nominee is in a war of words with the father of a fallen Muslim US soldier. At the Democratic National Convention last week, Khizir Khan denounced Trump's proposed ban on Muslims and asked whether the candidate had ever read the Constitution. Khan said Trump had no idea what sacrifice means.
Have you ever been to Arlington Cemetery? Go look at the graves of brave patriots who died defending United States of America. You will see all faiths, genders, and ethnicities. You have sacrificed nothing and no one.
Trump has praised Khan's son as a hero, but he isn't one to let criticism slide. He questioned whether Khan even wrote the speech and suggested that Khan's wife was not allowed to speak because she's Muslim. Meanwhile, Trump responded to that claim about sacrifices on ABC News.
How would you answer that, Father? What sacrifice have you made for your country?
I think I made a lot of sacrifices. I work very, very hard. I've created thousands and thousands of jobs, tens of thousands of jobs. I think
those are sacrifices?
Oh, sure, I think they're sacrifices. I think when I can employ thousands and thousands of people, take care of their education, take care of so many things, even in military. I mean, I was very responsible, along with a group of people, for getting the Vietnam Memorial built in downtown Manhattan, which to this day people thank me for. I raised, and I have raised, millions of dollars for the vets. I'm helping the vets a lot.
Well, appearing on CNN, Khan fired back, defending his wife and declaring Trump unfit to be president.
I invited her that when you come to this stage, can you say thank you for inviting us? My husband will speak further. She said, you know my condition. When I see my son's picture, I cannot hold myself together. For this candidate for presidency to not be aware of the respect of a gold star mother standing there, and he had to take that shot at her, this is height of ignorance. This is why I showed him that Constitution. Had he read that, he would know what status a gold star mother holds in this nation. This country holds such a person in the highest regard. And he has no knowledge, no awareness. That is height of his ignorance. She is ill. She had high blood pressure. People that know her looked at her face and she said, I may fall off the stage. And I told her that you have to assemble yourself and stand for the beauty of this tribute that is being paid. This person is totally incapable of empathy. I want his family to counsel him, teach him some empathy. He will be a better person if he could become, but he is a black soul. And this is totally unfit for the leadership of this beautiful country. The love and affection that we have received affirms that our beliefs, our experience in this country had been correct and positive. The world is receiving us like we have never seen. They have seen the blackness of his character, of his soul, that he is void of recognizing, empathizing with people.
Well, Trump tweeted after that interview that I was viciously attacked by Mr. Khan at the Democratic Convention. Am I not allowed to respond? Hillary voted for the Iraq War, not me. Well, a lot of people are angry over Trump's criticism of the Khan family. Former Republican presidential candidate John Kasich tweeted, there's only one way to talk about the Gold Star parents, with honor and respect. Hillary Clinton lashed out at Trump, saying someone who attacks everybody has something missing. Well, Julian Zelizer is a professor of history and public affairs at Princeton University and joins us now from New York. Great to have you with us, Julian.
Thanks for having me.
Looking at these comments by Trump, not only did he attack Khan initially, but taking pot shots at his wife and not speaking at the convention. You heard just a short time ago Khan say that when his wife sees pictures of her sons, she just can't hold it together. Why would Trump go after, like, both Mr. and Mrs. Khan, the parents of a fallen veteran?
Yeah, part of it is temperament, and we've seen again and again, regardless of who attacks Donald Trump, he attacks back. And I don't think he always thinks through the implications or how this looks. It's just an instinct. And part of it, the second part, is to play into, a traditional narrative that he has now repeated about immigrants, about Muslims, and raises questions about the person leveling the attacks and their family practices rather than focusing on the issue at hand.
Trump, of course, implied that Mrs. Khan wouldn't speak because she's a Muslim. Today, she wrote a very powerful opinion piece in the Washington Post. She said, and I quote, "Donald Trump said he has made a lot of sacrifices. He doesn't know what the word sacrifice means." Trump, of course, was asked about his sacrifices, and he spoke about job creation. What does that say about Trump?
Well, I think in some cases he has a tin ear about how these issues play out and what people are talking about. He obviously doesn't have the same kind of sacrifice to talk about as they do. I think that's the basic fact. So he's talking about other things like having jobs for people, which is obviously not the same kind of issue. But this is a candidate often scrambling for answers. It doesn't always hurt him, but there's not always a logic behind what his response is to what the question is.
You're right when you say it doesn't always hurt him. Obviously, we've seen so many times where he's come out and said something controversial, and he's actually done better in the polls afterwards. How do you think this one will play out?
Well, I think it might play out the same way. First, look, all the attention he's received because of this is the same dynamic that we have seen since day one. He makes these statements, he gets in these fights, everyone says this is the last straw, but lo and behold, he's just been on the news for another news cycle. So it's worked that way, and there's a lot of anti-immigrant, anti-Muslim sentiment that he is playing to. It's part of the electorate that he appeals to. So it's not inevitable that some of these kinds of statements will turn away voters. They might actually win him some of the voters he's looking for. So in both respects, it's not clear that this is the final straw that we keep talking about.
Okay, Julian Zelizer. We'll have to leave it there for now, but great to have your perspective on all of that. Thank you.
Thank you.